All right, welcome back. Today's video is officially 352 days without gambling. Just about a week or so here till this is actually a full calendar year without wagering $1. That's a long time if you're a gambler. I'll be honest. It has not been easy. I don't feel like I've been tested, but in these videos, I really am trying to do my best to capture the experience. Just like maybe you, and all I really have is my experience to pull from. I'm guessing that many of my fellow gamblers out there are really fearful. I felt like gambling was a way to make money, and as High Stakes Danny put it, no more hand pays, dude. And that's really the truth. I do like gambling. I don't like what's going on. I am going to continue. I'm going to continue to ride this out. I mean, frankly. A couple feelings that I really have are I waited too long. I mean, that might be the way I really feel about it. Has been 28 years. 1 year without gambling. Or just shy of a year here. Actually, if you follow the story a little bit, I did gamble when I was in Vegas with High Stakes Danny last year. At this time, we were in Las Vegas like 3 times. And then, I was in Mexico for like 5 months. And I gambled again with High Stakes Danny in October 15th. So what is that? 12, 4, somewhere in there. So what, 16 months, gambled like 3 times in like 16 months. And this has been something I've worked on for a long time. I mean, this is not something where I just decided I was going to do. I have wanted to kind of budget better, not gamble as much. And then it really became clear that all of the problems that I have are, related to the gambling. Because as the big cat said, as I talked to him on the phone today, that you take a couple $100 and gamble, how bad could it be? And I feel like that, honestly. I mean, frankly, you go to the movies, whatever you do, it costs money. How bad is it just take a couple $100 and gamble? Unfortunately, in my opinion, it's worse than you think. I mean, frankly, this has been a huge change. This has been a huge change. The other thing that I can point to that really is a big difference is planning. It's really hard to plan around some gambling, right? You don't know if you're going to be winning or losing, or participate. uh, right? I mean, you come home, booked a loss, and wife wants to go out or whatever. That's the last thing in the world you want to do. Go on vacation. And many of my, again, gambling friends, some seem to handle this better than me. Like I talked about in earlier videos, like I have a gambler buddy, Marco. We would gamble a lot. I mean, guy drove a brand new car. He had a Harley, believe it or not. Lived in a nice place. I can say he did seem broke a lot of the time, but I would look at him and I would go, wow, what is he doing? And a couple other friends, but really look at this as, or sorry, let me back that up. This feels more like a relationship that has ended more than anything. I work next to the casino business. I don't work in a casino, but I definitely work around gambling. I still don't feel like I'm ready to go gamble. Again, kind of like what I said, I do feel like this will continue. And I'm going to find out. And we're going to see what happens. It's hard to know where to go from here. I mean, frankly. Again, I only have my experience, but I'm guessing that, I mean, look behind me here, as you see, right? There's no one high-fiving you with this thing. No one cares. I mean, I could walk out the door. I mean, there is a casino about 2 miles from here. And no one would know. And frankly, no one would care. I could call any one of my friends. Probably my gambler friends would high-five me. Oh, man, welcome back. And, no one would care. They would go, oh, man, remember that time you quit gambling for a year? I mean, that'd be about the end of it right there. It definitely, as my ex-wife said in one of the final emails that we talked, she said, I'm ready to say goodbye. That's really how I feel. I mean, when I was a youngster, I would get my pockets emptied and get back up and try again. I just don't feel like that anymore. I just don't feel like I want to do that anymore. I mean, it's really what this amounts to. And I wanted to vlog about it because I know this is one of those things that gamblers are afraid to talk about. another thing, the big cat, I'm not dropping his name per se, but he's a good person to talk to about it because he's very open about this. I mean, frankly, you're not being honest if you are a gambler and have not dealt with losses, difficult periods, and you don't have to even be much of a gambler to get these experiences, really. I mean, frankly. I know several people in Vegas that put a couple bucks in the machine. Doesn't ever seem to really affect them. I wouldn't say they're have any real gambling problem, but it's kind of the same thing I talked about with another friend that drinks. We talked about that very thing. I look him, I go, because he's like, oh, trying to quit drinking. And I was like, oh, yeah. And we talk about the dopamine and the addiction angle of it, and I don't look at him as a person with a drinking problem, just another dude, right? I know people that do drugs, wouldn't necessarily call them a drug addict, but I'm not with them all the time, so I don't really know. I don't necessarily feel like I have a gambling problem, but I definitely want to quit gambling. We could probably find some people that, would say I have a gambling problem, and, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's totally fine. But the real test here is gonna not be this year, or maybe not even next year. The real test is gonna be 3, 5, 10 years down the road. Many of you have messaged me, emailed me, comment. I met a fella that still goes to Zoom Gamblers Anonymous meetings, and he's counting at like 3,000 days-ish. And I don't know for sure, and I hope he doesn't get offended if he watches this, but I feel like, wow, will this still be with me 3,000 days? I mean, that's basically what, 9-10 years, something like that. That's a long time to still be, oh, I got a Zoom Gamblers Anonymous meeting 3 or 4 a week. I've not gone to any Gamblers Anonymous meetings. Maybe I should actually. I mean, actually, it's hard to talk or find gamblers, right, that, one, have had any real success quitting, from my research online and from talking to other people, commenting on videos and talking to some experts out there. They said they have a hard time finding gamblers to follow through and come to meetings, frankly, because the next day they're, winning, or something's changed, or, I mean, that's how quickly things change in the life of somebody who gambles. I guess. I can remember many times being down to last buck or two, and one time in particular had a pretty rough night over at the Gold Coast. I had a ticket. I believe it was like, I don't know, 18 bucks or something like this. I don't remember exactly, but something like this. And it was the last machine before the door. And I put my last money in there and managed to come all the way back. I mean, I was all done. Those are the memories that really stick with you. Like, again, High Stakes Danny said, no more hand pays. It is not an exciting life. You know, it's not been very exciting. I mean, I traveled and stuff like that, of course, and that's been good. It's been a nice distraction, actually, to keep my mind off the gambling. But I mean, it's been a pretty strong internal battle. I mean, frankly, I don't feel like I have fully still burns pretty hot. Still don't feel like I've fully got some distance between me and you know, again, like I was kind of saying, High Stakes Danny, I mean, I could frankly, you know, gamble any minute. I mean, really. I mean, but 352. It's a lot of time for a problem gambler. Anyway, I do apologize. The videos are a little mixed up. I did record those vlogs. I knew I wanted to. I'd been traveling and stuff, so I didn't have the time to myself to really process it and be able to vlog and talk about my recovery or my whatever you want to call it. I felt inside, I mean, this is something I want to talk about. This is hard stuff. This is very, very hard stuff. Even making these videos is not easy. And, yeah, but I feel like I'm just the person that can do it, honestly. I really do. I feel like I can do it. I feel like I can put it behind me. Again, I don't really feel like gambling is much of an addiction. I do feel it's more of a, you know, greed-based thing. A lot like a relationship. But anyway, I think this is the end of the video. More videos are gonna come. No, we're not going to a quit gambling channel. Just another video, just documenting my experience and for others to watch and, you know, maybe get some help from. And thank you very much for watching. More videos are coming very soon. And we'll be seeing what's going to happen, that's for sure. We're going to find out what happens when you quit gambling, that's for sure. Just like everything else that I've done, we're going to find out. We're gonna find out what happens when you quit gambling. We're gonna see the other side. Who knows? Have a good night.